This is Brian with the Chesapeake Ag Innovation Center, here to answer the questions that you sent in for the week. The first question is, what is the best way to supplement farmers market income due to reduced customer base because of inclement weather? Well, that's a pretty tough question. This is something farmers markets and retailers have struggled with to answer for years. In August of the past year, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco actually issued an economic white paper on this very topic. In that study, it factored weather as a driver for sales, and the loss of sales for inclement weather are not made up right away. Even online sales don't seem to have an immediate impact. The study did show that people still shopped. It's just they made decisions to go indoor or outdoor based on the weather. So the true answer, it depends on what type of business operation you're running. One of the things I recommend is to create a base data of sales versus the weather conditions. Ask yourself in this data, how are your sales based on temperature and forecast? And do your sales drop or increase based on the complexity of the weather? That way you can go into a sales event with the data necessary to help you have a good idea of where your sales will be when attending the market that day. If it's going to be lower that day, send emails or text messages to contact lists offering a small incentive to encourage them to come visit that day anyway. You may also want to think about a covered area for pre-sales or online and phone sales. That way you still get people who are looking to come in that day who may not want to go spend time walking around in inclement weather. I wish there was a good single answer, but there's really just not a silver bullet here. So it's kind of going to be trial and error based on your business. The second question is, how can I create an effective social media presence while managing the rest of my business? Well, social media is a great way to grow your business, but let's face it, it can be a time constraint and a resource rabbit hole. As small businesses are strapped for time, this becomes a very difficult thing to manage. One of the first key successful things I think about in terms of social media presence is to ask yourself which platforms most effectively meet your target market. Are they reaching the audience you're trying to reach? Only spend time on those that will provide the best returns. Platforms like YouTube and Facebook, even Twitter, are more entertainment focused, while a platform like LinkedIn is going to give you more professional networking. So think about who you're trying to reach and think about spending the time and money on social media to reach that target market. If you're the person who is tasked with doing this, carve out time in the morning. I like to do it before I open. That way you have it throughout the day to do the rest of the things you need to do, and only spend the time that you have necessary to make sure you can be consistent in what you're doing. If you have someone on your staff that's trusted, then create just a social media guideline about how and what they should post and how often they should post. The key thing for social media is to be consistent. The final question is what to do if my produce doesn't sell like I want it to and I'm left with produce that's going to go bad. This again is a problem that's not just at the farmers markets, it's at retail, it's at grocery stores. Perishable foods, they estimate, experts say 1/3 of all perishable foods goes bad. Part of the ways to think about this as a strategy is to maybe bundle your produce. Find ways to put 2 or 3 things together, or offer a package deal of a larger area, a larger amount of the produce. Another thing is prepackaged meals with a recipe. Put together 2 or 3 pieces of produce together and say this with this is the kind of meal you can make quickly. It gives people the illusion of time saving. So there's something you can do for that. And for times that you just can't sell it, or it may just be a difficult time because you have more product coming in, you may want to consider donations. Some donations actually can help you in terms of tax reduction aspects. Think about donating to some food banks or other needy organizations. And lastly, if this is becoming a problem that's quite often, you may want to consider doing some consignment contracts. Again, this is Brian with the Chesapeake Ag Innovation Center. We look forward to more questions for the next week. Have a great day.